Good day, everyone. I'm Domer A. Francisco from BSN2 Social Studies, and our topic for today are elections and political parties. So, the ballot is stronger than the bullet, according to Abraham Lincoln. So, if may thought po kayo about this quotation, so comment nyo lang po sa comment section. And naniniwala ko na the ballot is stronger than the bullet. Why? Like for example na lang yung pamumuno ni former President Marcos, 'di ba? Dahil sa balota, naluklok siya sa bilang isang presidente. And alam naman natin yung nangyari during his term. And ayaw nating maulit yon ulit. So, yan. Next. At the end of this chapter, the student must be able to describe the nature of elections and political parties in the Philippines, identify the types of electoral system, assess the implication of type of electoral system on politics and governance, and analyze the nature of elections and political parties in the Philippines. So, election. An election is a democratic process in which the citizens above 18 formally decide and vote on who's the right to hold public office and make public policies and decision concerning the people's overall welfare. So, when we say election, ito na nga democratic process na if you are 18 years old above, so meron ka ng power to select your own president kung sino yung gusto mong maging presidente or kung sino yung pinaniniwalaan mong may kakayahan para mamuno sa ating bansa. And kapag sinabi nating election is dito madedetermine natin kung sino ba yung pinagkakatiwalaan ng mga tao, 'di ba? And pinagkakatiwalaan ng mga tao na may kakayahang mamuno, may kakayahang mabago yung estado ng isang bansa. And yun po. And familiar naman tayo sa election, di ba? Yan. Next, electoral system. Also be called voting system. Is a system used to determine the kind of necessary votes and also calculate votes and then translate these votes into seats or position in the government. So when we say electoral system or tinatawag ding voting system, itong voting system is ito yung system kung paano tayo bumoboto, 'di ba? Kung paano tayo bumoboto ng mga leader na gusto nating mamuno sa isang or sa ating bansa. Like for example, 'di ba nung May 9, 'di ba, bumoto tayo. Then binigyan tayo ng balota and then sa balota na 'yon is sineselect natin or sinishade natin kung sino yung gusto nating manalo or ma-elect sa mga bawat posisyon sa government. Yun po yung voting system na tinatawag or electoral system. So there are three main characteristics of electoral system. So first, ballot structure refers to the format of the ballots given to the voters in terms of voting preferences, range of choices, and rank or order of these candidates. So, di ba dito sa ballot is naka-rank and naka-order yung mga pangalan ng mga ng mga candidates. So, merong tumatakbong presidente, vice president, senators, and so on and so forth. So, dito sa balota, dito tayo nagse-select kung sino yung leader na napupusuan natin or yung alam nating may kakayahan na mamuno sa isang bansa. So, 'di ba sabi ko nga kanina, the ballot is stronger than the bullet. So, dito sa bullet, ito yung parang natin, boses natin. Kasi 'di ba, kahit sabihin natin, presidente ko si Leni Robredo, presidente ko si Bongbong Marcos, pero hindi magte-turn sa kanila yun para maupo sa posisyon. Pero pag nagboto tayo and then sinade natin yung pangalan nila sa ballot, magte-turn yun into votes or boto para sa kanila and uupo sa kanila yun or magte-turn yun para maupo sila sa pagka-presidente. Yun po. Next. And familiar din naman tayo sa ballot, diba? Next, electoral formula is the method of turning the votes into seats for the candidates elected. So, when we say electoral formula, ito na yung method ng boto. Like, for example, di ba, yung si Bongbong Marcos, diba? Siya yung may pinakamataas na or pinakamaraming votes na nakuha sa mga Pilipino. Then yun yung nagbigay ng power sa kanya para ma-elect as a new president ng bansang Pilipinas. So, yan po. And next naman, district magnitude. So, represent the number of aspirants elected from the district. So, when we say district magnitude, ito naman yung number of aspirants na na-elect sa bawat district. Like, for example, di ba sa presidents? So, isa lang naman yung dapat maging presidente. And also vice president. And sa senators naman, merong 24. And so forth. Yan po. And next, according to King 2000, the elected system employed may vary among countries, regions, or even different levels of government. The general types are as follows. So, the first, plurality electoral system, which may also be called winner-take-all or first-past-post system. So, itong plurality system is from the word plural, marami. So, kung sino yung mas maraming nakuhang boto is siya yung mananalo. So, like for example na lang dito, kung nakikita nyo. Diba? Like for example, may 3 candidates na tumakbo. And then, yung first candidates is nakakuha ng 25 points. And yung second candidates is nakakuha ng 50 votes. And yung third candidates is 25 points also. So, kung sino yung may pinakamataas na boto na nakuha, is siya yung mananalo. So, yung nakakuha ng 50 votes yung nanalo. Kasi siya yung may pinakamataas na boto na nakuha. So, ayun po yung plurality electoral system. And once lang po ito ginagawa. Kasi nga, kung sino yung nanalo, siya yung ma-elect as a president or any kind of position na tinatakbuhan niya. Kaya sabi nga dito, winner take all. Yun po. So like for example po, 'di ba sa isang basketball match, pag sino yung may nakakuha ng may mataas na vote, ay may mataas na scores, is siya yung mananalo. So ganun din po sa plurality electoral system. Kung sino yung may pinakamataas na votes na nakuha, is siya yung mananalo. So next naman is the majority electoral system. This is also known as second ballot. In this system, according to Blaise and Massicoat 1999, a clear winner is only declared once he or she wins over majority or over 50% of the voters. So, dito sa majority electoral system is dapat makuha ng mga candidates yung 50% na ng mga boto. And sa first round, kapag hindi nila nakuha yung 50% na boto, is magkakaroon ng second ballot or second election. So, like for example, dito naman. Ito. Kita nyo, may 3 candidates ding tumatakbo. Yung first candidates is nakakuha ng 25%. And yung isa naman is nakakuha din ng 30%. And yung last is nakakuha ng 45%. So, silang tatlo is hindi nila nakuha or na-reach yung 50% of voters. So, magkakaroon ng second election and magkakaroon ng runoff. So, when we say runoff, ito yung kung sino yung may pinakamababang boto na nakuha, is siya yung may eliminate sa second round. And kung sino may pinakamataas na boto na nakuha, is sila yung mag-proceed sa second round. So, kung sino mananalo or makaka-reach ng 50% of votes sa kanilang dalawa is yun yung mananalo. So, ayun po yung majority electoral system. And next, types of majoritarian electoral system. So, alternative votes. This involves preferential voting wherein voters may rank the candidates or political parties according to their preference. So, like for example, dito sa ballot paper na nakikita natin. So, like for example, may 5 candidates na tumatakbo and then rank these candidates into 1 to 3. So, yung party A or yung candidate A is nakakuha ng 3 points and yung second candidate naman is nakakuha ng 1 points and yung third candidates naman is nakakuha ng 2 points. So, kung sinong may mas mataas na kuhang score is siya yung mananalo. So, ayun po yung alternative votes. So, like for example na lang, 'di ba, kung pinapasagot tayo sa research paper, 'di ba? So, nirarank natin sila to 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. So, kung sino yung mas may mataas na score na nakukuha nila, so ayun yung nilalagay nila sa kanilang research, 'di ba? Ganun po yung alternative vote. So next naman is two-round system. As some elections may not yield as a result wherein a candidate gains the acceptance of the majority, a second round is necessitated. So like for example dito sa pictures na nakikita natin sa presentation. So like for example sa round 1, may mga tumatakbong candidates, sila Joe Smith, John Citizen, Jane Doe, Fred Rubble, and Mary Hill. So like for example yung may pinakamataas na votes na nakuha is si Jane Doe and Mary Hill. So magkakaroon ng second vote sa kanilang dalawa. Then, kung sino yung mas may mataas na boto na nakuha is siya yung mananalo. So, para lang din siyang majority electoral system. Yun po. And next, another way to classify election is according to its namely. So, primary, general, and special. So, when we say primary election is a preliminary election for determining which candidate best embodies a political party and would serve as the representative during the general election. So when we say primary election, ito yung pagpili ng bawat partido sa kanilang candidate na magre-represent sa kanila sa general election. So like for example, 'di ba si Leni Robredo, ninominate siya bilang isang presidente ng kanyang partido para maging representative nila sa general election. And also kay Bongbong Marcos, 'di ba? Ninominate siya ng Partido Federal ng Pilipinas para maging representative nila during the general election. So ayun po yung primary election. And when we say general election naman, this is the major election which will yield the final result on who will ultimately take public office. So when we say general election, ito naman na yung pagboto ng mga Pilipino nationwide. And dito is malalaman natin kung sino yung mananalo bilang isang uupo sa mga public offices or office. So ayun po yung general election. Yung like for example, 'di ba nung May 9. So it is the general election kasi nga lahat ng Pilipino dito sa buong bansa is bumoto para pumili kung sino yung gusto nilang maging presidente and other position sa government. Yun po. And when I say special election naman, these are usually necessitated by death, resignation, or termination of public official. So when we say special election, like for example, if yung president is namatay, so magkakaroon ng special election para mapalitan siya. And also kapag merong mga nag-resign or na-terminate na mga public official, so magkakaroon ng special election para magkaroon uli ng kapalit or magkaroon sila ng kapalit sa mga bawat office or sa bawat posisyon na may iwan nila. So ayun po. Next, who can run in an election? So, under Article 6 of 1987 Constitution, the qualification for a person to run for a position in the government are stated. So, for all the national position, namely President, Vice President, Senators, and Congressman, so, ito yung mga qualification para tumakbo ka sa national position. So, first, natural-born citizen of the Republic of the Philippines. Excuse me. So, dapat sa Pilipinas ka pinanganak. And kung maalala nyo, nagkaroon ng controversy about sa pagtakbo ni Grace po, di ba? Napuna yung pagiging dual citizen niya. And kaya dapat natural born ka or dito ka sa Pilipinas pinanganak para maging qualified ka na tumakbo bilang isang president, vice president, and so on and so forth. And also, he or she must have the ability to read and write, yes. And age qualification are also present. So, 25 years old of the age for the position in Congress. So, dapat 25 years old ka para ma-elect ka or para qualified ka na magkaroon ng posisyon sa Congress or Kongreso. And 40 years of age to become an eligible president candidate. So, dapat 40 years old ka para qualified ka na tumakbo bilang isang presidente. And also, residency in the Philippines is also qualification which ranges to 1 up to 10 years. And also, dapat registered voter ka. So, ayun po yung mga qualification para sa national positions. And next naman, for us aspiring candidate of local government position or yung mga tinatawag na LGUs or like for example, sa towns, diba? Sa barangays, ayan po. So, ito po yung mga qualification nila. He or she must be citizen of the Republic of the Philippines, yes. And must also possess the ability of reading and writing. Okay, and must be able to speak Filipino or any local dialect from where is he currently residing. Yes, like for example, 'di ba? Dito sa Herona, 'di ba? And kung tatakbo kang bilang isang mayor dito sa Herona and di mo naman alam yung dialect nila, so hindi mo maintindihan yung salita ng mga tao and hindi kayo magkakaintindihan. Kaya dapat if you are running, so dapat alam mo din yung local dialect ng Herona. Yan. And next, age qualification ranges from at least 15 years old up to 20 years old. Yan. And aspiring candidates must be a resident for a period of not less than 1 year immediately preceding the day of the election of community where he is running. Yes, kasi nga 'di ba, if hindi ka nakatira sa tinatakbuhan mong position sa like for example dito na lang din sa Herona. So, syempre hindi mo malalaman kung ano yung mga sociological issues na nangyayari dito sa community na to. So, dapat if tatakbo kang mayor dito sa community na to is dapat nakatira ka dito in 1 year or yan. And next naman, in addition, he or she must be registered voter in the constituency in the locality. Ayun po yung mga qualification for local government position or yung tinatawag na LGUs. And next naman, syempre meron ding qualification sa mga voter. A person who wishes to cast a vote must be a citizen of the Philippines, yes. And he or she not be disqualified by any law. And minimum age of a voter, at least 18 years old. So, if you are 18 years old above, so meron ka ng power or freedom to vote. Pero dapat magpa-register ka din sa COMELEC. And a voter must also have resided in Philippines at least 1 year and the location where proposes about at least 6 months. Yan. And according to study by the National Youth Commission, an estimated 40% of total number of registered voters mostly at the age of 18 to 30 years old. And, according to Chongson 2015, due to the fact that Philippines is quickly becoming young country, the youth are more change-oriented and their idealistic views help a lot in making decision. So, ayun po yung mga qualifications sa mga voter. And next, the COMELEC or Commission of Election is the head of an election done in the Philippines. So, the COMELEC or the Commission of Election, so siya yung pinaka-head or siya yung namumuno sa pagkakaroon ng election dito sa Pilipinas. And yung COMELEC din, sila din yung nagre-register sa mga qualified voters na 18 years old above. So, sila yung nagre-register and also sila din yung nagbibigay ng mga list of registered and also yung precinct para kung araw ng election is alam ng mga registered voter kung saan sila boboto. And however, starting the year 2010, the voters were presented a new system of voting wherein he is a given sheet of paper and is supposed to shade an oval-shaped figure beside the names of the candidates in their desired position. So, nung 2010 nga, so, dito tayo nag-umpisa na gumamit ng automated machine. So, like, yung tinatawag na PCOS machine. So, and then, gumastos pa yung COMELEC ng 12.641 billion para lang makabili ng PCOS machine para sa elections. And, pero madami mga controversies na lumabas sa PCOS machine or sa new system of voting. Next, political parties. Political party is one relevant component of the democratic government, and it is the central figure democracy. It is an organization of people aiming acquire political power. So when we say political parties, ito yung mga organization na mga tao and aim lang nila is para makapag-acquire ng political power sa government. So, ayun po. And next, according to Weisenbach 2010, the basic purpose of political parties is to nominate candidates for public office to get elected as many of their party members as possible. So, according to Weisenbach 2010, so sabi niya, yung purpose lang ng mga political parties is para i-nominate yung candidates nila at para makapag or para maupo sa bawat pwesto na tinatakbuhan ng mga candidates nila or yung mga ni-nominates nilang candidates. Like for example na lang 'di ba si Leni Robredo, 'di ba? Ni-nominate siya ng Liberal Party bilang presidente or bilang candidate sa pagka-presidente. And also 'di ba si Bongbong Marcos, 'di ba? Ni-nominate siya ng federal ng Pilipinas para maging candidates for their president, and yan, nanalo si Bongbong president. And yun po. Next, party system described by Sartori 2010 as the system if interaction resulting from inter-party competition. Yun po. And next naman, types of party system. This type of party system are classified as 1. Single party system, 2. Party system, multi-party system, and the dominant party system. So the first one is the one-party system. It's a system wherein there are one dominant political party with uniform ideology has the right to form the government. So when we say one-party system is meron lang isang political party na nagdo-dominate sa government. So best example dito yung China, 'di ba? Yung Communist Party. So sila lang yung nagdo-dominate sa government ng China. And hindi nila hinahayaan na magkaroon pa ng party maliban sa kanila. So ayun po yung one-party system. And next naman is the two-party system. It's a system wherein there are only two political parties the field of politics. So when we say two-party system, so dito naman is may dalawang political parties yung nagdo-dominate sa isang state or bansa. So best example dito is the United States kasi 'di ba may dominant or may two dominant political parties na nabuo doon, which is the Democratic and Republican Party. So next naman, the multi-party system. As the name suggests, is a system wherein more than two political parties are relevant to the political view of the citizens and the voters. So dito naman sa multi-party system, so two or more political parties yung nagdo-dominate sa isang bansa. And next naman, the dominant party system is a system wherein particular political party dominates a series of elections which make election look like it just formality. So when we say dominant party system, ito naman yung mga political parties na nagdo-dominate or dinodominate nila long time yung elections. So may mga ginagawa silang mga labag sa batas para manalo sa isang election. So ayun po yung dominant party system. And next naman, function of political parties according to Diamond and Gander 2001. So first is the candidate nomination wherein candidates in each party are assigned to run for office. So every political parties is may nomination nga sila. Like for example, for president, for vice president, for senator. So nagno-nominate sila ng mga candidates para i-assign sa mga office or para maging representative nila sa general elections. And second is electoral mobilization in which the parties sponsor and support the candidates throughout the campaign. So itong political parties, sila din yung nag-sponsor para sa pagtakbo nung napili nilang candidates hanggang sa matapos yung elections. And third, the political parties use issue structuring wherein these parties provide alternative and choices issues. So, and fourth, political parties represent various social groups, whether in specific or in a form of symbolism called social representation. Diba? Every political parties is meron silang social representation or symbolism. Like for example, diba yung Liberal Party. So yung social representation nila is democracy. And every political parties is merong social representation or symbolism. And next, PIP is the interest aggregation in which the interests of every group are melded into broader appeals. And next, 6 is forming and sustaining governments, wherein the success of the party forming and sustaining the government plays a key role in enhancing its performance. And last, a function of political party is social aggregation in which they allow the citizens and voters to participate in the electoral process. Yan. And next naman po, according to Dolan 1991, political parties may also be differentiated according to socio-political objectives. Yes. The first, conservatives, are those that want to retain or restore the pre-existing order. These parties are skeptical of change and innovation. So when we say conservative parties, so ito yung parties na ang aim nila is para magkaroon ng innovation yung isang bansa. Or like for example, para improve nila yung mga or para makapagtayo ng mga infrastructures na gagamitin ng mga mamamayan niya. And when we say liberal parties naman, ito yung advocate the right of freedom of individuals and stress the democratic disposition of society. So, dito sa liberal parties naman, di ba? Ito yung nag-i-insist or nag-advocate ng bawat kalayaan or freedom ng bawat isa. So, like for example, di ba, medyo famous to nung time na nilabanan nila yung termino ni former President Marcos, 'di ba? Dahil sa liberal parties is napaalis nila sa pwesto si si former President Marcos. And next, Social Democratic Parties surface with the rise of labor movement, economical standing. So, when we say Social Democratic Parties naman, ito yung it's talk about labor movement or sa mga trabaho naman to. Or yung mga sa trabaho naman to. And next, extreme rightist parties advocates ideologies that are nationalistic in nature, which may or may not be laced with unclear ethnic ideology and possibly racist nation. So communist parties proliferate dictatorship. So according to Dolan 1991. So okay. Next, Philippine electoral processes. So ito naman yung term ng bawat na-elect sa position. So, the president shall govern the country for 6 years. He or she cannot be re-elected after the term. So, yung president is 6 years siyang namumuno sa isang country. And hindi siya pwedeng ma-elect as a president ulit. Yan. And pwede siyang tumakbo ng vice president pero tumakbo siya uli sa president is hindi pwede. And election in the House of Representatives is composed by 3. So 200 seats will be assigned to the directly elected granted with 3 years. So if you are elected in House of Representatives, so 3 year lang yung term mo. So ito po yung formation ng mga ito yung House of Representatives. So dito nagpupulong-pulong yung mga bawat leader ng bawat position. And next, similarly, 57 seats designated for indirectly elected or those registered parties or organization. So these parties are restricted to maximum of 3 years. And last is Senate, wherein 24 seats are allocated. Senators serve 6 years term with a maximum of 2 consecutive terms, with a half of senator elected in staggered election every 3 years. So, yung mga senators is 6-year terms lang yung pwede silang maupo sa pwesto, and pwede silang tumakbo ulit bilang isang senators. And yung half sa kanila is every 3 years lang yung term nila. Yan. And ito po yung mga senators natin ngayon. Senators. So yung pinaka-head nila dyan is si Tito Soto. Yan. And next, issues holding political parties in the Philippines. Since the fall of dictatorship of President Marcos, several political parties and coalitions were formed in the national and local scale. So, in addition to this, election anomalies are observed months before and during the elections. So, number 1 is patronage system. So, when we say patronage system, ito yung pag nanalo yung isang politician is binibigyan niya ng mga trabaho yung mga supporters na, yung mga relatives and friends na. So, ayun po yung patronage system. And next naman is politically motivated incident. So, dito naman is ito na yung mga crime na nangyayari na related sa politics. Like for example, yung mga ambush or yung mga pamamaril na nangyayari sa mga tumatakbong politicians. So, during the election. So, ayun po yung political motivated incident. And next naman is electoral fraud. So, itong electoral fraud naman, ito yung binabago nila yung resulta ng election. So, like for example, di ba yung nung last election, diba? Sinasabi nila na may dayaan nung last election, lalong-lalo sa vice president na nabalita yun na nandaya daw si Leni Robredo. Pero binasura din ng Supreme Court yung yung kaso. And next naman is vote buying. So, very familiar naman sa atin itong vote buying na binibigyan or binibili ng mga politician yung boto ng isang botante. And next, false power of empowerment. And last is black propaganda. Dito sa black propaganda, ito naman na yung mga issue or yung mga hindi magagandang ginawa ng isang candidates at ibinabato sa kanya yon para masira yung reputation niya sa mga botante or even mannerism ng isang candidates is na pupunana. So ginagawang issue yon para masiraan siya. So para bumaba yung boto ng isang candidates. So yan. Next, furthermore, during election, over-budgeting in campaign is also observed. According to Cordero and Ombion, 2017, a traditional politician can spend millions during the campaign period, spend forward leaders, present leaders, watchers and barangay captains, forok leaders, transportation costs, sound system, streamers, handbills, and etc. Madami mga controversies na nangyayari during the elections, but at the end of the day, the election still grants the final say to the people. That being said, voting is a right and a responsibility of the people, as they are given the chance to alter the course of the country for the good or for the better. And just quick recap. The Philippines follows a multi-party system, yes. And elections are every 3 years. Sa president is 6 years. And sa mga other half of senators is 3 years. And also sa House of Representatives. And the COMELEC is primarily tasked with ensuring the conduct of honest and free and fair elections, yes. Because COMELEC is the head of the elections. And the Philippines had the first automated elections in 2010, which is the PICOS machine. Thank you for listening.